Redox Nation. Welcome to today's discussion on crop set. I've got some tubers here that we've just dug, kind of out of a 10-foot dig. Field behind me, we've actually just finished digging this Ranger field. And took a minute to do some evaluating. You know, one of my favorite quotes from Stephen R. Covey is seek first to understand, then to be understood. That correlates very well to the whole concept of begin with the end in mind. And today I want to demonstrate how crop set kind of ties back to that end in mind philosophy. Particularly in potato production, we want to begin the season with a very firm focus on what our end goals should be, what our end profitability looks like, what that target potato size profile needs to be in order to capture, you know, incentive payments and some of those some of them premiums from our processors. And so what I've done here is we've broken this lot of potatoes down into different size categories. Obviously over here you can see my 0 to 3.9 ounce, my 4 to 6.9 ounce, then my 7 to 9.9, 10 to 11.9, 12 to 13.9, and then greater than 14 ounce potatoes. Kind of shows you the profile that's out here in the field. But when it comes to crop set or tuber set, we need to understand what we're working with. I hope each of you took time to watch the videos on tuber bulking, because that's a very significant driver and also precursor to what we have here. So when we understand our crop set, we understand also how to better manipulate and manage that crop to get a more desirable end result. So what we see here is this particular dig represented, we've got 36% of our tubers that fit this category right here. That's kind of spooky when you think about, we're at harvest, we're digging to fill the storage, we're digging to supply the processor, we're digging to fill cartons. We've got 36% of our tubers that fit this smaller category. I got my cheat sheet here. 33% fit this 4 to 6.9 category. Okay, 16% fits the 7 to 9.9. Then we get into 6%, 10 to 12, and then 3%, and obviously 5% on the big end. So the majority of what we've produced out of this particular field sits from here down. So what went wrong, or what went right? Okay, we had a lot of potential. But when we look at crop set based on numbers instead of percentage, okay, there's 47 tubers that fit this category, 43 that fit this category, 21 here, 8 here, 4 here, and 6 there. So in terms of numbers, we had a lot of potential remaining in this field. Should we have pushed it harder? Should we have killed this field later? Should we have adjusted our fertility and our water management to try and hold on to these a little longer? That's hard to say. When we understand crop set, we begin to understand where our potential is and how we can manipulate the system to get a better, more desirable end result. So these Rangers are going to go to a processor for French fries. Obviously, you know, everybody likes a big blocky potato. But truth be known, the grower's getting paid for basically everything here forward. And so they fill these contracts. You think about production possibilities and where we'd be at the end of the year. If we hadn't looked, if we hadn't dug, if we haven't watched our tuber bulking rates, if we haven't watched our tuber set, we're shooting in the dark. But with all this information and our ability to manage and map and measure, we can really dial this thing in. So understanding tuber load as a function of crop set can really help dial in our profitability. We can understand our necessity for management. If this, for instance, was a Burbank field that wasn't going to be dug till mid-October, we've got 2 or 3 solid weeks left, maybe we could have moved these up the scale. And that's ideally, what we'd like to see happen is we take from this small end where we've got a lot of numbers, move them up the ladder into this larger size profile. That's a management task. That takes water, that takes fertility. We got to be on top of our phosphorus and our potassium, and we've got to keep canopy health intact. There's a lot of things that play into this. We've dealt with a lot of smoke. We've had some cold nights. We've had a frost event here not too long ago. So all that's going to change how these tubers move up the ladder as far as size and size distribution goes. Let me take this a step farther for you guys and just kind of identify, if we were looking at this based on a carton distribution scenario, we're talking 50% consumer bags. That's pretty small. 34% small cartons. 12% is that 60, 70, 80 profile that typically makes us all our money. And then we're only 5% large cartons. So from a carton distribution standpoint, our particular crop load in this field actually has a pretty nice carton distribution to it. Yeah, we'd like to see that 60, 70, 80 count, a little higher percentage than what it is, but it's favorable nonetheless. Now granted, these are Rangers. Rangers are big, blocky, so we're not going to see some of the issues associated with like a Norcota, for instance, or a Burbank for that matter. But the principle's the same. If we begin with the end in mind, if we can measure and map and track our progress through the year, crop set becomes a very critical component in how we manipulate that crop for the year. Whether it's in trees, whether it's corn, whether it's potatoes, apples, whatever it is, we can influence that plant's ability to set fruit. That's a function of carbohydrate storage. It's a function of nitrate metabolism. With that ability to encourage crop set, we can really drive a lot of productivity. Anyway, just a few ideas for you. We've got more spuds to dig, so we're going to get rolling on here. Hope you found some information here that's valuable and insightful. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. So look forward to seeing you guys in 2021. Catch you later.